Obviously unemployment and things like employment as well, and I guess some kind of economic vision for South Australia are a big part of this particular forum, starting from the lower end of the class spectrum, I guess. But I guess I wanted to sort of ask all the individual candidates, and perhaps for their party's position as well, if they represent a party, what kind of economic vision they have for South Australia. I mean, particularly in regards to the big industries that we might see dominate. So we've seen Holden and a lot of manufacturing leave Adelaide, which has led to, I guess, a lot of problems with unemployment in the past. And I particularly remember a couple of years ago where I was at the very pointy end of unemployment. And I see a lot of talk about defence industries and drilling in the Bight, and I guess I just don't find these the most imaginative kind of industries to be bringing to Australia, particularly drilling in the Bight and nuclear waste dumps and other kinds of unsustainable kind of fossil fuel exploration. And I just wonder if there's potentially a more progressive, sustainable vision for Australia coming from any of the candidates today. I hope that gives you the flavour of what I'm hoping to hear from you.
Ali, you're a candidate.
Yeah, do you want to go, Ali?
Ali should be a candidate. Next time. Not for Boothby though, I'd like to be the member for Boothby. It's a great question, thank you very much. So one part of our policy is one thing we're doing is bringing forward a lot of the infrastructure projects. So the Liberals have kind of said, oh yeah, we're going to do Hove Rail Crossing and we're going to do South Road and we're going to start ripping little bits of money in, but that's something that you can see from us next budget that will actually have some jobs there and some work there. So that's one thing. Our apprenticeships, 1 out of 10 people working on those projects be an apprentice. I've actually heard, other than the environmental arguments, I actually haven't heard that there's actually many jobs that would come for South Australians with drilling in the Bight anyway, which is ridiculous. And the other thing is that if we actually ensure that people currently in the workforce, have wage growth, have security in their employment, and get their penalty rates back, they can then spend that money in our local economy, which then means there's more opportunity for more jobs. We actually need to ensure that people are paid properly so that we can actually stimulate the economy and increase jobs, sorry.
All right, no to the militarisation. I'm just putting that out there. That's not the Greens' plan at all. We want to move fully to renewables by 2030. This is something that our wonderful Senator Sarah Hanson-Young is pushing for, and it's something that we're all pushing for. We want to fund education better, which will mean more jobs. We want to fund aged care and put ratios in aged care, which will mean more jobs. We want to fund the arts and artists. How many starving artists do any of us know, And we are talking seriously about a UBI, because employment should not be pointless busy work. When work needs to be done, let's get it done. And when work doesn't need to be done, we can do other things. We can value add, we can do volunteer work, and we can work in community gardens, and we can connect with each other, and we can have street libraries. Sorry, that's my personal thing. And we can just learn and be philosophers and everything, so work-life balance. Maybe we can move to a shorter work week for everybody, and then we can have full employment. We haven't got all of that on the table yet, but we will be moving to renewables by 2030. That is our definite plan, and we're talking really seriously about what else we can do to have an economy of people, not just an economy of GDP.
First of all, I want to say that was a very good question, so thank you. I know that I've just come back from a weekend away with the whole party, and the one thing that Clive wants, the one thing that United Australian Party wants is jobs, jobs, jobs. Every government said that. They've all said, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do jobs. But Clive, we have here on the Australian Party, we actually have what we're going to do. And like you said, Madam, before, what specifically? If we could process the minerals that Australia has in Australia, that would create huge amounts of jobs, right? That would create huge amounts of jobs. When Australia first started, or when America first started, the biggest thing in America, the biggest thing in Australia was building railways. We need transportation, we need railways, we need better circulation around the capital cities. That would help, and that would create lots and lots of jobs. Plus, it would create the steel manufacturing, which we have the steel, we just need to process it here, instead of sending it overseas and then buying it back. So that there would create lots and lots of jobs for everybody, in every field. Think about it. Now, what Australia grows, grows Australia. There's no qualms about that. We are just not growing enough stuff. The other thing, what we do, the best products are sent overseas. That's ridiculous. We should be able to use them ourselves. And then we bring back foreign fish, which is, third grade fish to Australia, and all our best stuff goes overseas. We need to have that here so that we can benefit from it. The other thing is the trillions of dollars that is tied up in superannuation, that is invested overseas in many, many other countries overseas, instead of being invested here in Australia. That would also create jobs. So I know for a fact that we don't just say jobs, jobs, jobs. We have those things, what we would do to create those jobs.
Can I just have your opinion on building the Great Australian Divide? Is that something the party support?
No, not really. No.
That's a bit of a qualifier though. Not really.
What about the Adani coal mine? Yes or no?
For me, I definitely rule out drilling in the Bight. It's a no-brainer for me. It's only going to make the rich richer. Fossil fuel we don't want. Future generations just curse us for thinking about. 68% of South Australians don't want drilling in the Bight, but federal parties aren't ruling it out.
Or nuclear waste dumps.
Or nuclear waste dumps. So yeah, I'm all for renewables, trying to create jobs in that. A big lack I see for the government is long-term planning. What strategic things can Australia grow? What industries can we grow? In my day job, I work as a contractor in places like Holden and Mitsubishi and different industries, and I've seen that just all disappearing, and it's very sad that we haven't found a way to support more industry that comes from commitment to global trade, which in the end helps big business, the big multinationals. They love that, but we need to focus on supporting what's going to work here, what industries we can be cost effective on, and the government needs to do long-term planning to look at what those industries are, whether it's using the minerals that we're digging up, making batteries, where can Australia excel and invest in those things, whether it's agriculture, whatever, but that long-term planning should have goals for different industries. We're going to build this industry in South Australia and see jobs created. We need the jobs, and you're for a job guarantee of some sort to offer people that want work, some meaningful work. It's a huge social cost to have people that want work and can't get it.